Right, joining us now with reaction, partner and co-founder at Flynn Zito Capital Management, Doug Flynn, along with economic strategist Francis Stacy and geopolitical advisor Rena Shaw. We appreciate all three of you coming here on Thursday afternoon into American Agenda. Francis, I want to start with you. Anything stand out to you with what President Trump said about the trade deals especially? He seems very confident. I saw no wavering there.
No, he's not wavering because he knows he has more leverage. He's done the homework. The truth is this, particularly with China, the American consumer consumes between 30 and 35% of all world consumption. OK, there is nobody out there, even if you put some of these countries together, that is going to replace the American consumer. Their stuff is sitting dead in the water, literally in their ports. There's no way that their domestic base can absorb that consumption. And there's no way that their central bank can stimulate by buying all of those goods. And the threat against us is selling our treasuries, which would spike our yields. But our central bank could come in at any point and buy those bonds and also lower rates. And so it's easier for our central bank to compensate than their central bank to compensate. And so he knows that China eventually will capitulate. But the Chinese culture, you've got to save face. And that's what I think was behind the rhetoric in the news article this morning, where they said there's no trade deal on the table. That is saving face, but the leverage is going to prevail. And I believe that President Trump knows that.
Doug, Secretary Scott Bessent, said specifically that he had been meeting with South Korea and that a deal with them on trade was moving even more quickly than he anticipated. He said they came to the table prepared, they were ready to go. President Trump also said that a lot of foreign leaders who he will see in Rome also want to take some time to meet with him specifically to talk about trade. Again, does this symbolize maybe the fact that other countries are finally getting in line and realizing they're going to have to make a deal?
I do like the clarity of saying we're going to work through these deals if we can. And we have that 90-day pause, which ends on July 9th or 10th. And then basically saying that if we don't have those deals, we're going to set what the deal's going to be. So, look, it does take a long time to actually negotiate each one of these deals, and to try to do 100 of them is darn near impossible. So hopefully we get some, but the market is seeking out some of that clarity. And you can see that today and in yesterday in the fact that maybe we do have something that we can sink our teeth into. We'd like to see an actual deal. I think that would be tremendous for overall sentiment of actually getting something done. And you can kind of build from there. But they keep saying some things and then they're moving forward and the market reacts and then maybe not so fast and it slows down. So we're in a little bit of a whipsaw right now. And I call that the fog of the tariff war is what we're in right now. But hopefully we can get some clarity soon.
Doug, I think you're right. I've been having some conversations with people. I think they would like to see a deal come through.
Yes.
Whoever it may be, they want to see at least one get through. Rena, I want to ask you about this. We were going to talk about it before President Trump came on. 12 state attorneys general, they are suing his administration over these tariffs. What's your take on that?
Right. These attorneys generals are very concerned, obviously, about the hit here, not only to businesses in their states, but that's not exactly what their box is here, right? They're making the constitutional play at this, and that this is about authority. And where does this authority rest? I, as somebody who understands Capitol Hill very well, am very frustrated by the fact that Congress has abdicated a great deal of this authority. And so I think the legal fight is very contentious because it's clear. The executive branch has certain reach, but is this overreach? And that's what's really core and central to this fight. And that is why they've acted swiftly and filed this jointly. It's no small thing, and I don't think it'll go away fast. I think it will get even more complex because, again, the tariff climb down now makes people a little bit less shaky, but it doesn't, again, take away what's at the core of that legal fight, which is where does the authority rest, with the executive branch or with the other branch as well, the legislative.
Francis, President Trump was also talking about housing prices improving. He was talking, of course, about the price of eggs being significantly lower, as evidenced by the Easter egg roll, of course, over the weekend. But he also said that, energy prices are way down. And this is something that, again, he promised. But he also, of course, made that mention, maybe a little poke at the Fed chair, that those interest rates should also be brought down. Is that the right strategy to do at this time?
I think it's a better strategy than publicly threatening to potentially fire him. I think that, yes, this is a key opportunity for Trump and Powell actually to come together and increase the leverage for the United States in these trade scenarios. I don't think that Powell is going to lower rates in the May 7th meeting. The CPI report comes out after that meeting. But I think it's very important. We have onerous debt service, both on the federal debt and the interest on the federal debt. And also just consumers have onerous debt service, credit card interest rates, and things like that. And so it is, very important to be able to lower that debt service because you reduce the risk of actually having some kind of systemic credit event. And that would undermine all of the progress that's going on in trade. By the way, I think the market low is in for now because I think the Trump administration, and particularly Scott Bessent, has done a nice job of saying, look, it's not going to get worse from here. The 145% is not going to stick. It's not going to get worse from here. And I think that that's very promising.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Francis, Doug, thank you so much. Rena, you're going to stick around with us. We'll be back with you in just a moment. And